All right, so now we are running our new speaker wire. So I ran it up through the boot. I had to disable the boot here so that I could get it, because the wire wanted to keep going this way and it needed to go around that little post. So I got all this side of the dash out so I could reach up under there. So I'm going to run this wire back up behind the stereo so I can hook into the crossovers over there. But I've already cut this wire. And what I'm going to end up doing is not using the factory wires at all, just because they're super thin. I have no idea how they have it wired into that center speaker. So just trying to clean it up and give it the best sound it can. So that's where we're at. So I got one in, and I'm working on, I got to still wire this one up here. So that's where we're at. I know the videos seem to be a little crazy if you're watching them in the sequence that I laid out. The wife's been in and out of the hospital the last couple of weeks, and right now she is having some severe cognitive issues. Her short-term memory since the hospital stay is really bad. So I'm kind of running around trying to figure out, is it a medication? Is it something else? Did she have a stroke? Because the hospital didn't say, is this kidney related? Because she has kidney failure. So it's taken several weeks between finding stuff in the van that I need, like the connectors, and ordering them, and then forgetting I didn't actually hit the submit button, and then going back going, where's the part, and only to see it sitting in the shopping cart. So I've been a little dazed and confused. So if you're following along in the video, hopefully that explains. If you're not following along in the video, you'll probably be just as lost as I am currently. But trying to make a little headway today, and hopefully get this side of the speakers done. We'll see. And then I'm going to have to take apart the driver's side and do the same thing. But I still need to take out the headliner so that I can run all the wires up above that thing. And I'm going to run a backup camera mirror. So when I have that down, I can do that as well. So hopefully, and that'll be like a separate thing, I think. Let's just get the stereo back in, because I really need to clean up the mess I got going. Okay, so I got one speaker in. These are the 3D printed rings that I ended up going with. For this particular set of speakers, they were 5.5 from screw to screw, and this ring was 5 1/4, and it seems to fit good. So free download if you got a 3D printer. I did solder on about a 6-inch pigtail, and then I put some connectors into the new wire. So, and it's run up through here. So now I just need to wire the upper speaker. I'll bring both speakers down through that, behind the little piece of carpety thing right there, and then up to the stereo where I'm going to put the crossover. So I want to get this side wired up before I put the door panel back on. I want to plug the stereo in just to see what one side sounds like. Alright, so I have my new speaker wire run to the tweeter spot. It comes down along here and then up underneath here. And you can see the two wires. I'm going to zip tie them to this other harness that's back here. They go around this pole, and behind this padding there's a spot where it comes into the stereo spot. I already have the mid hooked up to the crossover. This is going to be the tweeter for the right side, and then I have one for the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and put ends on that speaker. Now, oops, dropping everything. My tweeter is a kind of a large tweeter. It doesn't really fit into this hole very well. So what I did was I just stuck this thing down inside here, and it might be hard to tell, well, maybe not, but I took my heat gun and just kept pushing the speaker down until it cleared this area, so it was nice and deep inside there. And I'm going to put some double-sided stick tape on it just to keep it in place so it doesn't rattle. But yeah, it fits down there nice and deep. It was pretty easy. Just Harbor Freight cheapo heat gun was enough just to heat that up, make it soft enough to conform around the speaker, and we're good. Okay, so I got the vent back in and all the screws in. I got that cover back in, the tweeters in, and the wires are run, and they are hooked up at the crossover. So the only thing I need to do now is hook up the input to the crossover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to D-pin the left and right channel, and the left channel that's currently hooked up will be matched to those, and then these two open ones I have wires to plug in that will be the rear speakers, so left and right. So that's the next thing I need to do is D-pin this so that I can hook up the wire, and then this way the factory harness will not be cut. I'll just pull these wires out of there, and this way if I ever need to take it apart, it will disconnect here, leaving all the speakers and stuff. I don't have to do anything other than unplug everything. So that should make life a little easier. Alright, so I'm going to D-pin this, and I'm going to get the wires that are going to hook up to this. I know that the right side is this bluish green, and we can find that right there, bluish green, and then that's the other one. So it looks like then we have like a brown on brown, maybe. So one's positive, one's negative. We're just going to do one side at a time. That way we have the right wires. And on the other side, they are not. So I know this is hard to see. I think I have a photo I'm going to post in there. But one is like brown with a pink, and the other's like brown with a green blue. So that would be the right side. I'll need a flashlight. Okay, so I have my left and right channels D-pinned. I actually pulled the little plug out of the holder. It's just easier once I got those wires out. So I have these are the front wires, or the two front speakers, left and right. So I damaged the gray one when I was taking it out of the other harness, so I'm using a brown wire with a gray wire. So black stripe is our negative, it goes to our crossover, and our other side goes to the other crossover, and that's the white ones. So this actually matches the harness adapter. So white is front left, gray is front right, and then the upper two, or the other two, will be left and right rear. So that is coming along. Took a little while. I was having a hell of a time getting these out of the plug. I do have a kit for it, for depinning them, but they were just kind of a challenge to get out. These are slightly a little different than these, so these aren't 100% snug. So once I put the harness together, I will need to push these in and make sure they're solidly connected. But yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so other than that, so the next thing I need to do is run, pull this side apart, the driver's side apart, so I can run all the new wires. In that, I kind of want to hook up the stereo just to make sure that everything's working properly, since I already put it all back together. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Alright, so I will pick this back up with the driver's side. Hopefully tomorrow is going to be kind of a crazy day, because we have to go get some blood work done for Heather, and then I'm hoping to hear back from the doctor, because I believe that she's in kidney failure. She's very confused and having some hard times remembering the past week. Her long-term memory still seems good, but looking at all of her lab results from the last week of hospitalization, I'm surprised they didn't start dialysis. I'm kind of confused. They've talked about it several times now and still haven't done anything. So I emailed the doctor yesterday, so I'm waiting for a response. Hopefully he will jump on it, but I'll pick this back up as soon as I have a moment. Oops. Well, it is playing. You can see that I got the stereo on. It is currently paused because the second you start videoing with my phone, it turns off the Bluetooth. So, but it is working. The speaker are both working on this side, which means the crossover is working. I might have a loose wire in this bundle, so I'm gonna have to go open it back up and double check. But I did need to hook this up, even though the instructions are kind of non-existent when it comes to this. But because it doesn't have the fuse on this side for the yellow, I went ahead and connected that to this guy. And once I had the stereo playing, I disconnected it and it immediately shut the stereo off. So I tried plugging it into this other one and it did nothing. So plug this back in and now the stereo's working again. So at least I know the stereo's working. All the wiring is correct, so I don't have to repin anything. I'm not sure, again, what this box is because there's like, what, a page on this, maybe? Yeah, hold on, let's see if I can do this one. So you get your wiring, you get this little description over here. There's this pre-wired harness AX thing. I don't know if one of those is got that on it. I didn't see that particular AXSW thing. I didn't see that on here. Yeah, so this is an AXDI. That's not what that says. That's something else. This is an AX something another. Again, not what we're looking for. Yeah, this one down here talks about it. It says you have to use the if you lose interface power for any reason, steps to reset this. If you're using this AX connect to your individual AMXDI, blah blah, turn the key in the off position. But yeah, there's really doesn't tell you what you're supposed to be doing with it. It's kind of, that's it. It's a front and back and just some wiring. So all right, so at least we have that working. So that's good. I'm assuming what it's doing is taking the full power from that 12 volt and it's reading one of these other two wires that is coming into this box and it's turning the radio on and off. So that's kind of a strange thing, but I guess it's protection. So what I need to do is take that side of the dash apart so I can run the speakers to the doors like I did. And then I need to take out my overhead shelf, and so I can run the wires up behind for that. But I also need to be able to run the wires for the new camera because I'm gonna put a backup camera. So it'll be an LED screen here that looks like a mirror. That will be my reverse backup mirror because there's no windows back there. All right, well, at least I know it now works. So yep, I'm going to double check my harness and make sure all my wires are good and tight, and then I'm going to actually, what I want to do is plug in, because there's the USB stuff and the antenna, so I guess I should plug in everything to make sure it all works. Okay, so I hooked up to the USB plug I put here in the dash. That works. The radio works. I hooked up the antenna. We're getting antenna. When I hook my phone up to this, it's charging. It also is bringing up the GPS. Now the only downside is the one that I bought to retain the factory harness isn't working. So I don't know why. It should work. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to have to reach out to the people I bought it from and let them know it's not working. Maybe it's a bad cable. But yeah, for some reason we're not getting anything through that. That's kind of a bummer. All right. So yeah, I guess the next part is we need to take that side apart. Well, actually, I can put this door back together because at least now I know the speaker's working. I should do that first. I do need to get 1, 2, 3, 4 new door plugs. It looks like 3 of them are still in good shape. This one up here in the top corner is broke though. Okay, so door panel on the passenger side is put back together. I have zip tied my new stereo lines up there so they're out of the way. So next I can put the glove compartment back in and we will be done with the passenger side and we'll move over to the other side. We do have some dark clouds, so the possibility of rain. The wife got her dialysis line in this morning and they were going to start dialysis at 2 p.m. So I came home to do a little bit of this so I was out of the way. Hopefully that will mean she can come home in a couple of days. So I really would like to at least get the dash back together. I did have to order a new USB adapter. Apparently the one I ordered only went up to 2014. And then there was another one from 14 to 17, and that I think is the one I needed, but regretfully that one's on back order, so we'll just tuck that line up. We still will have the this USB until that other wire comes in, and luckily it's easy to get to the radio and pop that in, so won't be too bad. But we'll go ahead and get everything else installed. Like I said, right now we're going to go ahead and put the dash back together.